I spent several weeks with the vintage electric tracker, and my testing was almost exclusively on paved city streets and bike paths. Let's get this out of the way. This is a Class 2 electric bike that looks like a 1910s board track racer. The biggest surprise wasn't just that it turns heads, it stops traffic. But the real contradiction is its personality. I expected a gentle, stylish cruiser. What I got was a silent, beautifully built motorcycle in disguise. Frame and build quality. For its starting price of around $5,000, the build quality is expected to be high, and it delivers. The frame is a beefy, hydroformed aluminum, and all the engine components are cleverly hidden inside a sand-cast aluminum battery box that looks like a V-twin motor. This is the bike's visual centerpiece. The battery itself, a massive 1,123 watt-hour unit on my test model, is integrated into this tank, but is removable with a key for off-bike charging. At nearly 85 pounds, this bike is a heavyweight. You feel every pound when trying to lift it, but at speed, that weight gives it a planted, incredibly stable feeling. The motor is a large rear hub drive, which keeps the bike's retro lines clean. Compared to other high-style e-bikes like a Super 73, the tracker feels more like a bespoke custom. The details, from the real wood inlay on the frame to the handmade leather saddle and grips, feel substantially more premium. Motor and battery performance. This bike is all about the motor. In its standard setting, it's a perfectly legal Class 2 e-bike. You can use the thumb throttle or the 5 levels of pedal assist to cruise at a comfortable 20 miles per hour. The power from the rear hub motor is instant and strong, easily pulling you away from a stoplight. But the tracker has a party trick. Included with the bike is a small race mode key. When you plug it into a discrete port, the bike's electronic limits vanish. The 750-watt nominal motor unleashes its full 3,000-watt peak power. The throttle becomes a rocket switch, and the bike surges to a top speed of 36 miles per hour. It is genuinely, breathtakingly fast, and it feels much more like an electric moped than a bicycle. The 1,123 watt-hour battery provides a huge amount of range, though the 25 to 75-mile claim is, as always, highly dependent on how you ride. I found that if I kept it in street-legal Class 2 mode and used the throttle sparingly, 50 to 60 miles was achievable. If I spent my time in race mode, that range dropped closer to 20 to 25 miles of pure, giggling fun. A full charge takes about 4.5 hours, which is impressive for a battery this large. It also features regenerative braking, which trickles a small amount of power back into the battery when you're braking on long downhills. Drivetrain and components. Let's be perfectly clear, the drivetrain is not the point of the vintage electric tracker. It has pedals and a single-speed chain, and they exist almost exclusively to satisfy the legal definition of an electric bicycle. You can pedal it, and on a flat road, it works. But you will almost never want to. The bike weighs 85 pounds, and the riding position is a low, stretched-out cruise. Pedaling is a chore. This bike is designed to be ridden with its thumb throttle, and the pedals are best thought of as footrests. If you run out of battery, you will be absolutely miserable pedaling this bike home. The components that do matter are the brakes. My test bike was equipped with powerful Promax hydraulic disc brakes with large 203mm rotors, which are absolutely essential. They provide the necessary stopping power to haul this much weight down from 30+ miles per hour with confidence. Limitations and trade-offs. The most obvious limitation is the price. This is a luxury item, not a practical piece of transportation. For $5,000 to $7,000, you could buy a very capable used motorcycle. Second is the weight. You are not carrying this bike up a flight of stairs ever. It is a garage-only machine. Finally, there is the legal ambiguity of race load. It is explicitly intended for off-road use only and is not legal for public roads or bike paths. Using it blurs the line between bicycle and motorcycle, and you ride at your own risk. This bike is not for everyone. It's for the person who values style and speed above all else. Final verdict. Buy this bike if you want a stunning, high-performance e-bike that is the center of attention everywhere it goes, and you plan to use the throttle 99% of the time. Skip this if you want any kind of real exercise, need to carry a bike upstairs, or are on any kind of budget. The vintage electric tracker is an incredible machine that proves the golden rule for e-bikes. The best e-bike is the one you'll actually use. With its thrilling speed and unparalleled style, I found myself making up excuses just to go for a ride.